Hello, in this video I'm going to show just the basics of clip editing. I'm going to show the tools that I use. We're going to look at import, so as long as you make a track you can right click and you can import an animation clip. So I'm going to go to trim, scale, split, poses, time warps, and relocator here in this first clip, and then I'll do match pose and layers later. So initially I wanted this to be my idle, but character seems a little bit jumpy. But then I decided I would keep this punch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just right before the wind up here, I do it at frame 64. Now I could trim it with this kind of main button, which is the trim mode. Take that up to 64, and so that trims it other than, or trims out what I moved up. Now I can always just put it back and I still have the data there. But I know I'm not going to keep that data, so I'm just going to split it. And so this icon here will split it at the current time. I can delete this part. And so now I've got this punch. And I probably don't need the settling here at the end because I want it to be nice and quick. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to trim that as well and delete that. So I've trimmed the data, got a nice clean punch. And here's the back kick, and we're going to edit the back kick a little bit later. But I did decide that I wanted, for the idle, I just thought it'd be cool just to have this character kind of going back and forth like this. So I'm making it go forward, and then I can make it go back. All right. So I'm going to take the data right before he comes up for the kick. And so I'm going to split here. So the kick stuff, I'm just going to, whoops. Kick stuff I'll leave over there with the punch. F to frame this. So now I've got my idle. It's kind of moving back and forth. All right. But the character isn't entirely centered over the origin. So here I'm going to use my create a relocator. Okay. And so I've got this selected. So I'm going to say create locator. That comes up over here. So with the locator, what I can do is set the translate X at Z, translate Z at 0. Pardon me, translate X at 0, translate Z at 0. So now the character is centered over the axis. But if we take a peek, we can also see that character's kind of on the floor. So let's take the translate Y and move it down so it's on the floor. What I generally do is just make sure I've got the heels planted, and I can fix the toes later. Now something else, sometimes when you do a capture, like we have a small space currently, so sometimes we do our walks in a 45-degree angle, I could just rotate it. I'm going to make sure that I'm in world mode as opposed to object. So if I wanted, I could rotate the character 90 degrees and then the animation would play out this way. So that's how you would orient an animation. I don't need to rotate it, so I'm just going to keep all that. So again, I've already adjusted it. Let's select it. I'm going to come here to bake, and I'm going to bake to a new clip and delete. Do that all the time. Okay, so like I said, I'd like this to kind of move backward and then move forward. But to move forward, I've got to oscillate back and forth. Do that later. So I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to come over here and paste it. Now it makes a new audio, or pardon me, a new track. I don't want that, so I'm just going to come in here and delete the track. Now if I put these together, they're just cycling. So what I want to do is reverse this one. So I'm going to reverse it by using, under retime, I'm going to create a time warp. Okay. So what happens with the time warp is I've got this linear playback from 0 to 18 of this animation. And what I could do is I could, so if I play it, set this to 18. So if I play it, it just keeps going back. I want it to go forward. So just to show how this works, I mean, I could come in and select a key here and go back to the move. Middle mouse button, I could move that down. Move mode. So what would happen here is the animation would play really slowly, then it would speed up. Okay, so you can kind of time your animation that way. So that's how time warping works, but in this case, I just want to reverse. So I'm going to take this value and I'm going to set it at 0 instead of 18. I'm going to take this value and set it at 18 instead of 0. And let's, if I just click on spline, that'll make sure it's a linear adjustment. Now I go back to Time Editor. So this one's going back, and then the duplicate is now going forward. So time warps are really cool. You can see the time warp button there. Now if I wanted, I could, maybe blend these a little bit. I could go in and adjust the time warp a little, so it maybe give it a little bit of variation. Okay, so I'm going to call this my, this is my idle. So I've kind of built that up. I select them both, bake, bake to new clip and delete. So now I've got a single clip. Let's rename it. Idle, right click and export selected. So I always work incrementally with my keys, so or with my animations. So this is idle 5, so the latest version is the current one that I'm using. So here I want to show the match poses with Relocator function. So I've got an idle. And I'm going to come into a punch. If I put them together, you'll see that the character's in a different position in this next clip, and I want them to want the feet to stay planted. So what I could do is just initiate a little bit of a blend here. and you can see this crazy translation. So what I'm going to do is lock the foot down. I'm going to lock the foot down so that it doesn't slide forward. So let's select the foot, go to this clip, and I'm going to put on match poses with Relocator. And I'm going to reset the settings. And so these are my options. So it's got the foot right there. So I can match the foot from the previous, and I can match it to the current frame. Just say there. Now for translation, I can either have no translation or I can have full, which is what I want. And for the rotation, let's just say none for now. So let's click on match. So now you can see that that foot didn't change from when it first launched until it moved again. So let's say if I wanted to match just the rotation, so I could come back and do the same thing. I could grab the foot, current frame, so this time I won't translate it, but I will rotate it, and then match. So then what happens is it retains the rotation of the foot. Of course, that winds up putting the character so he's punching more at a 45-degree angle. But that just shows you how you can match based on translation, rotation, or both.